Hi guys, what's up? It's your girl Charla from That Girl Cooks Healthy. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best oven style cassava fries you have ever made in your life. Look at that beautiful orange hue. They are generously seasoned, not deep fat fried, made in the oven, cooked to perfection. I promise you, you will not miss McDonald's, KFC or any of those fast food joints. Trust me, you are going to love them. I cannot wait to show you how to make it. So most importantly, let's get to it. So these are the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need some cassava. The cassava that I'm using here is frozen cassava. I just got it straight from my freezer and just put it on the countertop. So you don't need to thaw them out. I do recommend using cassava that is frozen rather than the fresh cassava because I don't really like to peel cassava. For those of you who are familiar with the cassava root, the peel is quite cumbersome and it's just really difficult. I wouldn't say difficult, but it's awkward to peel it. I don't really like to peel it, so I try to avoid it where possible. So this is why I am using frozen cassava. As you can see, it's already peeled, it's inexpensive, and it's easier to work with. You're also going to need 2 lots of olive oil. So I have olive oil for the dip, and I also have olive oil to oven bake our fries. We need some lime. This is for the dressing along with the olive oil. I should have said that at the beginning. You also need some garlic as well, some avocado, also known as pear. I normally call it pear, but as you can see, this is the small one that I got from the supermarket, not the large, beautiful Caribbean one. You also will need some black pepper, pink salt. Seasoning wise, I have some Creole seasoning, paprika purely for color, thyme, and some parsley, pink salt, onion granules, garlic granules, some more pink salt. That's for boiling our cassava, and also some shadow benny as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare the avocado dip. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go old school style by using a mortar and pestle. So I have my avocado in the mortar, and I also just added my shadow benny. I'm also going to add my garlic clove as well. I already minced it in advance, but you can use it whole if you're using a mortar and pestle. So the next thing you need to do is you just need to break it down and mash that with the pestle. I was about to say the mortar, but the pestle is what you need to break it down with. If you don't have this, you can just do this in your blender, but I really wanted to do old school because I do like to use my mortar and pestle from time to time, and I feel that it just gives it that nice old school edge. That's the reason why I like to use it. So you just want to break it down with the pestle until it's really, really creamy. So now I'm going to add my olive oil and lime, and this is just going to loosen up the texture of the dip. If you want your dip to be more of a liquid type of texture, then of course you need to add more liquid. If you want it thicker, you don't even need to add any of these ingredients, but this just helps to loosen it up. And again, we're just using our pestle to break that down. And as I said before, if you don't have a mortar and pestle, it's no big deal. You can just do this in the blender instead. I just wanted to do an old school approach to how I prepared the dip. So the last thing I'm just going to do is add some black pepper and pink salt to taste, and then I'm just going to use my pestle just to mix that in with the actual dip. What I'm going to do is just check the texture to make sure that I'm okay with the texture before finally putting some wrap around the mortar and just putting it in the refrigerator just to chill until we're ready to use it. So now it is time to cook our cassava. So I'm going to add my onion granules, garlic granules, and pink salt to some boiling hot water. Then I'm going to add the cassava, and you want to just boil this until it is fork tender. Do not make it soft, or it's going to be too soft to make into fries. You just want it to be just fork tender. So this is what the cassava looks like once it is fork tender. It's going to go from being a solid white color to being a almost translucent color. So I'm just going to grab one of them with a fork to show you what it looks like. Actually, I'm going to use my slotted spoon to show you what it looks like. And it's really important that you don't overboil it. I cannot emphasize that, or the fries will not work. Also, do not skip this step, because this is what's going to get your fries nice and crispy. So the next thing we need to do now is we need to drain off that water in a colander, and the next thing we're going to do after that is we're going to get some cold water and we're going to pour it directly on the cassava in the colander, and this is just going to halt the cooking process. It's going to make it nice and cold and prevent the cassava from cooking any further, because if it continues to cook, it's going to be too soft. I cannot emphasize, and I've said this a few times, please do not overcook the cassava, or the cassava is going to be too soft and it will not work as fries. It's going to be really mushy, you'll be disappointed, and it's going to be a fail. Trust me, I have done this before. So just make sure that the cassava is fork tender, not extremely soft, and you'll be able to make some really nice fries. So we just want to wash them off now and just allow it to cool down. So before we prepare our fries, I'm going to use some kitchen towel to blot off any excess water, because we do not want our fries to be waterlogged. So just get some kitchen towel and blot them completely dry and then put them to the side. Next thing you need to do now is grab a piece of the cassava root. Just one at a time is easier to work with, and you just want to slice them into fries. In terms of the size of the fries, you just want to slice them into fries according to your preference. You might want them really thin, or you might want some chunky fries. So just cut them the best way that you can, and you should find that they won't fall apart. If they do start to fall apart, that means that you've overcooked the cassava, and most likely you're really going to struggle with turning them into fries because it will break up. So you should see that it shouldn't be difficult to slice them, but at the same time, it's not going to turn to mush. It's just going to be a tender type of texture that you'll be working with in terms of slicing them into fries. So once you do that, you just want to put them to the side and repeat that cycle with all of the pieces of cassava that we've just boiled. So this is what the cassava fries should look like once we have sliced them up. So the next thing we need to do now is to season our cassava fries. I find it easier to do this in a Ziploc bag. So I have a Ziploc bag here, and I'm going to place the olive oil and also our seasoning for the cassava fries in this Ziploc bag, followed by our cassava fries. You just want to add all of them to the Ziploc bag. You can do this in a bowl instead, but I find that the Ziploc bag is really good at making sure that all of the fries are completely coated. You have the oil and the seasoning and the cassava in the bag. You just want to secure it by zipping it up, making sure that it's completely secure, and just shaking that bag until the cassava fries are completely coated. So just move it back and forth in a back and forth motion until you see that the cassava fries are really nicely colored and really combined with those ingredients in the bag. So now the fries are completely coated. I'm just going to unzip that bag and show you what the fries look like. As you can see there's a lot of seasoning on our fries, and they're pretty much good to go in terms of baking them. So now I'm going to pour those fries on a baking tray lined with parchment paper, and then I'm just going to spread them out. You might need to do this in batches because it's really important that you make sure that the fries are not overlapping, or else it's going to cause steam and they're not going to crisp up. In terms of the baking time, it's going to take about, say, 30 to 35 minutes for them to bake. You also want to turn them over halfway through and keep an eye on them so they don't burn. So this is what the fries look like. Mine took about 30-35 minutes to bake. So the cooking time is going to be dependent. So as you can see, they're nice and crispy. So the only thing we need to do now is to serve it with the avocado dip that we made earlier. And this is a great alternative to doing deep fat fries. I absolutely love this. It's a really simple recipe to make. It has an island vibe to it, so why not? I do have a 3-day guide as well. If anybody wants any healthy Caribbean eating, I'll put the QR code for that in the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you on the other side.